Hey there, thriller enthusiasts. Welcome back to Ace Recaps, where we dive deep into the eerie and captivating world of cinema. Today's spotlight falls on a spine-chilling journey through time and terror in the 2023 Tamil horror thriller film titled DD Returns. In the year 1965, the government of India banned all sorts of gambling in the country because many people lost their entire life savings and ended up on the street. One wealthy family decided to take advantage of this and started an illegal gambling house in their own mansion. How generous of them to provide this valuable community service. Whoever decides to play has to put down a deposit of any amount, and if they win, their money will be returned to them tenfold. A key will be hidden somewhere in the house, and the participant will have to look for it without being caught by any of the family members. Sounds super easy. What could go wrong? Three friends decide to participate and place their bets. Thinking it's easy money, the three start navigating around the house looking for the key. Just then, one of them is shot with an arrow through his head by a little girl, eliminating him from the game. The remaining two start to panic and hide for their safety, but as an old blind woman comes in looking for them, she is made aware of their presence because of a sound, and one of them is axed in the head. The last remaining man finds the key and is faced with one last challenge. He has to pick between two pieces of paper which determine the outcome of the game. Unfortunately, he chooses wrong and is ultimately gunned down by the family. The mansion head claims that rules mean more to him than anything, and if anyone breaks them, they are killed immediately. What a reasonable and level-headed fellow. When his son was caught helping someone escape the house, he lost his life as well. A few days later, when the townspeople figure out what's really going on in the mansion, they gather outside. It's almost like people don't appreciate illegal murder games. Weird. The family tries to fight back by shooting them down, but they ultimately lose the battle and are burnt to death. Violence really does solve everything. As the mansion head watches his family perish, he promises that he will never allow the game to end. 60 years later, a group of thugs led by the professor are seen running away from the cops. They hide in an antique store where they spot people packaging white powder and heaps of cash. The professor and his goons overhear that the store will be closed the next day and plan to rob them. On the other hand, the owner of the antique store, Benny, is seen snorting away his stash. A man comes up to him and gives him a tip to steal millions. The richest and most well-known businessman of the city, Francis Onbarasu, is going to be away for his son's wedding, so he advises Benny to steal the money when no one's home and leave the city. Francis is not just a businessman but also a crazy madman with an eye for blood. He owns many bars and hotels around the city, and every cop in the area follows his orders. If anyone betrays Francis, he is known to hunt them down and kill their entire family. So one of the goons advises Benny to give up this game plan, but he is adamant about going through with the heist. Benny clearly has great judgment and decision-making skills. Early next morning, Francis and his family start with the preparations for the wedding. Everything is going well, and the family seems to have spent a lot of money for the wedding. People are seen dancing and having fun. But the groom, Anand, is an egotistical moron, and the girl doesn't seem too happy about the marriage, so on the day of her wedding, she absconds with her boyfriend. This enrages Anand, who demands the wedding to happen at any cost. He insinuates that the bride's sister, Sophia, get married to him or they pay them a sum of 10 million rupees as compensation for the embarrassment. Having no way to pay such a sum, Sophia agrees to the wedding. When she informs her boyfriend Satisha the same, he is devastated. He comes up with a plan, and ignoring all the risks involved, he kidnaps Anand and demands a ransom of 10 million from his father in exchange for his son. He plans to pay this amount back to them and free his girlfriend from their wretched hands. A well thought out and foolproof strategy. What could go wrong? Fearing for his son's life, Francis agrees to their demand and rushes home to fetch the money. At the same time, Benny and his goons break into Francis's house. They break into the safe and find all the cash and gold they were promised. The entire gang luckily escapes just as Francis and his family get back home. On the other hand, the professor and his goons are planning the heist of the antique store. Having no ride, they decide to steal a car so that nothing can be traced back to them. They spot Satisha's car unattended and drive away with Anand in the trunk. As they get to the store, they are surprised to see someone in the trunk, and Anand manages to escape. The goons decide to ignore this and continue with the heist, but all they find are empty boxes as all the cash and drugs have been stashed away in a different place. The professor was getting antsy, hoping to leave with bags full of fancy, but the safe was empty as can be, leaving the professor robbery-free. Just then Benny and the gang return to the store, so the professor holds them at gunpoint and steals all the money that they just stole from Francis. As they get back to the car and load the bag, Satish drives away with the car. When they find 100 million rupees in the trunk, Satish and his friends are more than happy. Nothing shady about mysteriously finding a huge bag of cash. He carries some of the cash with him and delivers it to Sophia, promising her an amazing life in the future. When Francis looks at the packaging of the money, he is enraged as he figures out that the money that was paid to him was stolen from his house itself. Nothing gets past this genius. He and his goons enter Sophia's house and threaten her family. He calls up Satish and tells him to bring back all his money, or his girlfriend pays for it with her life. Satish's friends drive out of the city, but the police have blocked every road on Francis's orders. They try to evade the cops and end up in front of a massive abandoned mansion. They hide the cash in the compound and escape from the premises. When they are caught by the cops, they are taken to the police station and made to pay a fine for a DUI. Satish finally catches up to them, and the group rushes to the abandoned mansion. They try looking for the money, but don't find it anywhere. They figure out someone's dragged the money into the house, and the three fearfully enter. As they look around, they find another group of goons hiding in the mansion along with the money. All of them get into a fight, and the money is accidentally placed on the gambling table, restarting the mansion and awakening the ghosts of the family that was killed 60 years ago. As the mansion head explains the rules to the players, one of the goons tries to steal the money and is dragged away into an undisclosed room. Looking at this, the other three goons try to escape, but they are eliminated too. The only remaining people are Satish and his friends, so the ghosts of the family explain to them how they need to find the key to win the prize and give them a clue that the key is hidden within a doll. If they aren't able to complete the game within the next 24 hours, they will all be eliminated. Having no other option, Satish and his friends split up and start looking for the key. One of them narrowly escapes the little girl ghost but is shot in the ass by an arrow. At least he got a cheeky shot in the butt. Tired of waiting for a response, Francis decides to chop off Sophia's fingers, but Anand stops him and lets the girl go, in hopes of following her and tracking down Satish. The professor who's strolling down the street spots her and kidnaps the girl. He uses her phone to call up Satish and threaten him. Satish, who's looking for clues around the mansion, is interrupted by the call and is cornered by the little girl ghost. So he drops his phone and flees for his life. The mansion head picks up the call and gives them the address to the mansion, and the professor and his gang head to the location along with Sophia. Anand, who's following her, also picks up the trail and heads to the mansion. Benny, who's scouring the city, also spots and follows the group to the location. Jesus Christ, writing down this storyline was not easy. Please subscribe. Satish catches up with his friends, and while looking for the key, accidentally turns on a very strong vacuum. A classic haunted house mishap. They manage to turn it off just in time and hide as they hear the little ghost girl around the corner. They spot the doll on her back and hatch a plan to steal it using the vacuum. As they execute the plan, they fail miserably since the vacuum never turns on. So they decide to give it another shot. At the same time, the professor and the gang enter the mansion and are overjoyed to spot the cash on the table. Sophia uses this opportunity to escape from their grasp and into the mansion. The professor decides to pick up the cash and leave but sees a ghost on his back through the mirror. The gang is forced to drop everything and run into the house and play the game. Satish manages to turn on the vacuum and collect the doll. However, Sophia enters the scene and starts rambling on about what a cheat her boyfriend is. The ghost girl is now enraged that her doll is missing and goes to attack the girl, but Satish distracts her by throwing the doll away. The professor who's hiding in the corner gets a hold of the doll and is attacked by the girl ghost. He and his friends explain everything to Sophia and check the box they retrieved from the doll. Turns out it was just a paper key hidden inside. The mansion head comes up again and explains to them how the real key is hidden inside a book that's located in the blind granny's room. However, if they make a sound, they will be killed. The four of them find their way to the library, but every time they open a book, a loud noise bursts open, alerting the granny ghost. They are attacked with an axe, but luckily manage to narrowly evade the blade. Just as she's about to slice the couple in half, Benny and his gang are seen playing around with the books, so the blind ghost moves on and attacks them instead. They find a clue as to where the book is and go looking for it. They finally get a hold of the key and are introduced to the third part of the game. The key unlocks an exit door, but they have to navigate through a never-ending maze to get to the other side. Sounds super easy to navigate. Anand also gets to the mansion and follows the path to the maze. One by one everyone enters the maze and are trapped in its infinite wrath. It's like they've never seen a horror movie before. They all get separated, and Benny decides to leave pieces of his clothing as a way to find his way out of the maze. A foolproof navigation system, I see. Unfortunately, one of the group members starts picking them up one by one thinking it's a clue, so they all end up trapped in the maze. This maze was a curl, with no end in sight. They wandered in circles, unable to see the light. Running away from the blind ghost, Satish almost falls off the mansion but grabs onto the ledge. Sophia gets caught by Anand, and just as they are about to kill her, Satish tricks them and escapes with his girlfriend. Unfortunately, the ghost granny catches Anand, and they are both dragged away. After a while of looking around, Satish and Sophia finally come across the exit door. Benny and the professor also follow them, and they all now face the final challenge. As all of them stand around a table, one by one they all need to select a piece of paper that determines their final fate. They all eagerly wait for the decision and Satish comes up with the plan to crumple the paper in case they lose, so that Sophia can select the right one and escape. Benny gets to select first and chooses the wrong one. He tries to flee but is axed in the head by the ghost granny. Seeing that the losing paper is now crumpled, the professor excitedly chooses the other one. Unfortunately, that seems to be the wrong one too, and he is dragged away. The both of them figure out that the game is rigged, and knowing that there's no way out, Satish comes up with another plan. As he picks his choice, he swallows it and tells the mansion head that to make things a little more interesting, he needs to check the other paper. When the ghost does so, it is evident that Satish won the game, since the one on the table is the wrong one. The ghosts wanted them to lose, rigging the game they couldn't choose. But Satish had the perfect ruse, outsmarting them to win the loot. Just as they celebrate their victory, the ghost daughter-in-law Clara freaks out. Clara was obsessed with money and hated the idea of losing, so she rigged the game in her favor. When her husband came to know of this, she shot him and told the mansion head that his son was caught cheating by letting someone out. The mansion head, who valued rules over his own family, agreed with her decision to kill her husband. And the Father of the Year award goes to. In the present, when he finds out the truth, a fight breaks out between all the ghosts. The whole family goes against Clara and tries to kill her. Nothing brings a family together like murder. Satish, Sophia, and their friends try to escape with the money, but due to the commotion, escape the house and leave the money behind. Present meets past. In a spooky scene, ghostly showdown. Oh, what a scream. Just as they are all happy to leave with their lives, 2 bags of gold are thrown to them. The original amount and the prize that they won for completing the game. The movie ends as we watch the mansion head, signaling to them to enjoy their winnings. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.